In an unprecedented move, the state of Kansas has launched a lawsuit against pharmaceutical giant Pfizer. The lawsuit alleges a systematic effort to mislead the public about their COVID-19 vaccine. Kansas accuses Pfizer of prioritizing profits over people, engaging in deceptive marketing practices. This case raises serious questions about transparency and accountability within the pharmaceutical industry. The lawsuit alleges Pfizer manipulated data, downplayed risks, and silenced dissenting voices. Kansas argues that the company engaged in a deliberate campaign of misinformation. This case has the potential to set a precedent for how pharmaceutical companies are held accountable. Kansas alleges that Pfizer's marketing of its COVID-19 vaccine was deliberately deceptive. The state claims that Pfizer targeted its marketing efforts to instill fear and anxiety in the population. This, Kansas argues, was a tactic to drive up demand for their vaccine. The lawsuit points to misleading advertisements that exaggerated the vaccine's effectiveness. Kansas also accuses Pfizer of downplaying potential side effects. By minimizing the risks, Kansas argues, Pfizer created a false sense of security. This alleged manipulation of information, Kansas claims, directly contravened consumer protection laws. One of the most serious allegations leveled by Kansas concerns the efficacy of Pfizer's COVID-19 vaccine. The lawsuit claims that Pfizer misrepresented the results of its clinical trials. Kansas alleges that Pfizer cherry-picked data to present a more favorable picture of their vaccine's effectiveness. This manipulation, Kansas argues, misled regulators and the public alike. Kansas further alleges that Pfizer failed to adequately account for different variants of the virus. This failure, they argue, renders Pfizer's claims about the vaccine's long-term effectiveness dubious. The discrepancy between Pfizer's claims and the allegations from Kansas raises serious concerns. Beyond the issue of efficacy, Kansas also raises concerns about the safety of Pfizer's vaccine. The lawsuit alleges that Pfizer downplayed the potential for adverse effects. Kansas accuses Pfizer of failing to adequately monitor and report side effects. This lack of transparency, Kansas argues, put public health at risk. The lawsuit specifically points to instances where Pfizer allegedly dismissed reports of adverse events. Kansas claims that Pfizer prioritized profits over patient safety, ignoring warning signs. Adding fuel to the fire, Kansas alleges that Pfizer engaged in a deliberate cover-up. The lawsuit claims that Pfizer actively concealed data that raised concerns about their vaccine. Kansas argues that Pfizer sought to bury data that contradicted their narrative of a safe and effective vaccine. This alleged suppression of information, Kansas argues, prevented independent scrutiny of the vaccine's true risks and benefits. By controlling the flow of information, Kansas claims that Pfizer manipulated the public's perception. The lawsuit filed by Kansas against Pfizer has far-reaching implications for public health. If proven, the allegations could erode public trust in vaccines and the pharmaceutical industry. This case highlights the importance of transparency and accountability in healthcare. This lawsuit serves as a stark reminder: pharmaceutical companies must prioritize patient safety and well-being above all else. Ultimately, restoring trust in vaccines and ensuring public health relies on honesty and transparency. The outcome of this case could set a precedent for holding pharmaceutical companies accountable in the future. Thank you for watching till the end. Stand up for free speech and help protect the free exchange of ideas online. Please like and subscribe to help us reach more viewers.